Hey, Wicked Deke here. Just doing a quick summary of Gabe Vilardi's first game. Yep, the first game review. The angels sang. 4 angels were harmed in the recording of that song. So the Gamester came out and he played his first game in what, a year? But realistically, his first competitive game, without being hesitant, in a year and a half or so. And the results were pretty much what you thought. So the entire reign played the fighting Tucson Roadrunners. Oh, the mighty Roadrunners. And Gabe, it looked pretty much like kind of what most people predicted, what I predicted. If anything, I thought he maybe looked a little bit better. He flashed, he showed moments where it was like, okay, this guy's a first round pick. And then he showed a lot of moments where it was like, okay, this is a guy who hasn't played in a year and a half. He had 2 potential grade A shots, both that he created. One was he got the puck out about 2 feet inside the right, or the left, excuse me, face-off dot in the offensive zone. He was facing away from the goalie, turned around, spun around, and cranked it right over the goalie's shoulder and off the post. That was early in the first period. Then the third period, he came sweeping in across the blue line and picked the pocket of a defensive player, broke in from the blue line on a breakaway, and tried to go 5-hole, and he got stopped. And those were really his 2 best goal-scoring chances. And they showed, basically his skill. They showed his vision, that kind of a thing. I think really the 2 most important things to take from the game were, was he healthy? Could he make it through a game? And was he showing any kind of hesitation? Because I know we all watch the highlight films on YouTube, but there used to be a couple of recordings of full games that Gabe was in, as well as on some of the scouting sites. And the thing to understand about Gabe's game, if you don't know, Gabe is not a guy who's going to go end to end. He's not, Ovechkin flying down the ice, getting knocked on his butt and still scoring. That's not Gabe's game at all. What Gabe is a warhog. He's a guy who he doesn't skate that fast. He's pretty mediocre. Some people, compare him to a Getzlaf. I would say he's probably even a little slower than a Getzlaf. But he has incredible vision to make up for it. And where Gabe's game really shines is when the puck gets in along the walls, particularly behind the net and in the corners. He is a beast. He is an absolute beast. He will go in. Doesn't matter how many opposing players there are there. He goes in. He gets the puck. And he wins it at a shocking rate. And he will then turn around, and he expects his wings to be in particular areas, and he will turn around like immediately and flip the puck to those places, those positions for one-timers. So if Gabe, comes back fully healthy and gets up on the Kings, and is playing his game, the Kings wingers are literally going to have fist fights over who gets to play with him because he is going to just set you up for one-timers, one after another. He goes in, he gets the puck, he just dominates. If you ever seen the old videos of Datsuk along the walls with the puck and nobody can get the puck from him, Gabe is like that. Now he doesn't do it the same way Datsuk does, but it's just very, very hard to get the puck from him. He just controls, and he's his own forecheck. He's literally his own forecheck. And he saw some of that tonight. The most important thing was that he went into the walls. At first shift, he went out and checked somebody. He got hit a couple times. There was no hesitation for him going to the wall and getting physical, and that was incredibly important because that's Gabe's game. If Gabe is hesitant and isn't physical, then he's probably not a great player. So that was really, really positive sign to see. In fact, at the very end of the game, the Reign were down, and there was a puck that went slowly into the corner of the Roadrunners defensive zone. Gabe was down by the net, so he went, hoofing over there, and he was racing a defensive player, and he dove head first, as in like horizontal across the ice into the boards, trying to tip the puck back to the point to the Kings defenseman who could get a shot off. At which point I yelled in a little girl's voice, "What the fuck are you doing? You haven't played in a year and a half because of a bad back. What are you doing? It's a nothing minor league game. This game means nothing." And the Kings were down by like 3. But he popped back up. And, the important part of that is obviously he felt comfortable enough to dive. He showed no hesitation, and that suggests that physically, not only does he feel good, but that he's confident. In some of the interviews you've seen with him, he's mentioned he's been skating for 2 months. So, whether it was spondylolysis or whatever the hell it was. He obviously seems to feel like, he's got a handle on it now. And that's absolutely great. That's the most important thing that came out of this game by far. And so now we can just kind of sit back and, I'm sure they're going to take it slow. Supposedly he's not playing in the other game this weekend, but let him come back slowly, get his game going. He was talking after the game about his timing was poor. He was really disappointed in his breakaway because he tried to go 5-hole, which he never does. He's actually an ace on breakaways if you ever go watch him. But after a year and a half, if he can get his game going again, where he can get all his timing, get his performance up, and he's feeling good, he's on that road now. Took the first step. So all in all, was it a dramatic game for him? No, but based on how long he's been out and all the concerns we had, I thought it went about as well as it could have. So good news. And then we had the announcer. I have never watched a Tucson Roadrunners game before, but let me tell you about Adrian. Adrian is the announcer for the Roadrunners. Adrian is amazing. My personal theory was that he was on meth. Some of the other people that were following the game thought he was had smoked a large amount of weed. Others were thinking he was mainlining 5-hour energy drinks. I don't know, but Adrian kept the game interesting. He's one of those guys where every play is, an amazing play, and the volume's going up and down and up and down. Look at that pass! I was getting worried about Adrian having a heart attack at some points. The other thing that was great about Adrian was he only knew the name of like 3 or 4 Rain players. So everybody else was referred to as the Rain player. But when it came to the Roadrunners, he knew his team. Yes, he did. In fact, he knew them so well that he often referred to the players by their first name, so you weren't really sure who the hell he was talking about. And Eric passes to Mike. It's like, what? Oh, man. But he had 2 players who he definitely knew the last name from the Roadrunners, and he really enjoyed saying their names. One was Schnar. I don't know anything about Schnar, but I want the Kings to trade for Schnar just so I can walk around going, Schnar! And the other was Mealy. And so at one point in the game, Mealy passed to Schnar, and it was like heaven itself. I mean, literally the clouds parted, rays came down on the ice. It was a moment of sheer beauty. Adrian's broadcast was amazing. Words literally fail me. It was so bizarre. And then to make it better, during the first period, apparently, there was a cat that got up onto the mixing board because in the middle of the play, suddenly Adrian's voice would become very loud. And then right in the middle of the play, it would suddenly become very low. And the only thing I could think of was a cat was laying there, sitting there at the dial with his paw just going, bing, 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 bing. It was truly, I don't know if they have a recording on the AHL TV channel on Facebook. You might go look. You can watch the first period. You can see Gabe a little bit. But listen to the broadcast. It was, I would dare say it was art. It was definitely worth the price that I paid. And I watched it for free. So extra credit. What about the Rain players, the non-Vilardi players? How did they look? The plan. Now, full disclosure, I don't watch Rain games. This is the first Rain game I've watched. I've been to a couple when they play the Gulls because I live in the San Diego area. But I do not watch Rain games. I do not watch AHL TV. So I don't know what these games are supposed to look like. But I have some concerns. It was now maybe it was just a bad game. Maybe the team just had a bad game, but it was wow. They look bad. Really bad. Cal Peterson, he's everything we thought he was. He's ready for the NHL. But he was really the only player that consistently stuck out. I mean, he was excellent. None of the 4 goals were his fault. He was literally facing like 5,000 shots. There were guys coming down the middle unmarked. It looked like the Kings last year. You remember those games where you're just like, what the hell are they doing on defense? Yeah, a lot of that. And if he had an average game, they probably would have lost 8 or 9-1. I mean, it was not good. On defense, Bjornfoot, he looked okay. Didn't really stick out. Solid, nothing great, nothing horrible. Mikey Anderson was playing with Cale Clegg, and yikes, Mikey didn't have a great game. Regulate mentioned on the board that apparently Mikey's been having a rough couple weeks. Personally, I'd like to see him not playing with Cale. I think Cale is a disaster, to be quite honest. And again, every time I've seen Cale play, and I've seen him play like 15 times now, every single game, he's just out in the wilderness on defense at certain times, at critical times. Tonight was a classic case. The puck is in the Kings' defensive zone. It is in one corner, and there's Mikey and two forwards from the Roadrunners, and they're having a puck battle. What does the other Roadrunner forward do? Yes, he goes to the front of the net. Why does he go there? Because he's hoping one of his two teammates wins the puck and fires it out to him so that he can have a grade A scoring chance. And what is the other defender in that situation supposed to do? Let us all chant. He's supposed to go to the front of the net and protect against that. And where did Cale go? He went to the opposite defensive corner where nobody is. Because apparently he was hoping that Mikey Anderson would beat the two players on him and pass the puck across to Cale. And we all know what happened. Yes, Mikey lost the puck battle with the other two forwards. The puck goes to the front of the net where the Roadrunner forward is sitting there having a smoke and a gin and tonic. And he puts them down and takes a shot. Cal has really no chance. Goal. That is Cale Clegg. That is. In some games, he'll be 95% great, and it'll only be 5%, airplane disaster. But it happens every goddamn game, I swear. That guy is not an NHL defenseman. He just is not. Unless you're only going to play him on, like, the power play. It's just, and then Kupari, he didn't flash at all. And to make matters worse, for some reason, the rain gave him the number 9. I've always said in the past, I hope he turns into something, but to me, he looks like Kempe. And they gave him the same number as Kempe, and man, it's a spitting image. I swear to God. If you didn't see the names on the back of their jersey, they look exactly the same. Same skills, same no production. I hope I'm wrong. Jared Anderson-Dolan didn't really do much. Didn't flash to me at all. I don't know. Now, again, these guys are all young. They're still developing, so hopefully they'll pick it up from here. And again, maybe it was just a bad game. I don't watch these games, so who knows? Maybe I just caught a bad one. Hope so, because it was concerning, to be quite honest. So, anyways, it is what it is. So we started off the night with the one big question. Could Gabe survive a game, and how would he, look in that game? And the answer to that was all positive. And then, as a silver lining, I think we should start a cult fan group for Adrian, the announcer. Maybe have an intervention. I don't know. Bring in an exorcist to get the demon out of him, whatever it may be. Seriously, you got to go watch this game. The announcing, it was like, oh wow, it was just unlike anything I've ever heard. It was so bizarre. But minor league hockey, catch the fever. Deke out.